This is wild. Either Bungie is desperate or they are genius. They have made all of Destiny 2 content free just before the Edge of Fate and the loot is permanent, meaning that now is actually the best time for new players to get in if they hear about this news, right? So hopefully the word is spread far and wide and new players flock into this game. However, I would say that, 1 week to get prepared for the Edge of Fate might not necessarily be enough, but it might be enough to actually hook you and turn you into a Destiny 2 player. We'll see if this actually boosts pre-order sales for the Edge of Fate. We'll see if this boosts population because we have access to various third-party sites. This is an article here from Forbes. We got I Woke Up Yesterday, how Bungie is attempting to draw in new players in Destiny 2 with its New Frontiers era, which begins with the Edge of Fate expansion on July 15th. Okay, so that was the topic of yesterday is, are new players even going to be playing the Edge of Fate? Now, Bungie has pulled the ripcord and made quite literally everything you can currently play in Destiny 2 free for a limited time. Here's the list. The Witch Queen expansion, incredible. New players are going to love this. Lightfall expansion, dear God, this should have been free from the start. New players, stay away. Be warned. The Final Shape, Chef's Kiss. 10 out of 10. Beautiful. Echoes episode, the Revenant episode, Heresy episode. There's a lot of good stuff in all of those. I've seen some misreporting about how they've just made 5 expansions free, which is technically true, but Shadowfall and Beyond Lights campaigns were made free some time ago. The expansions will be free until after the Edge of Fate launches, until July 22nd. The episodes, the 3 super seasons that have been live since the Final Shape, are only up for a week and will be removed on July 15th when the Edge of Fate is released. I mean, literally removed. They will be taken out of the game, as is the case with seasonal content when a new expansion launches. The good news here is that anything you earn during this time, armor, guns, exotics, currency, even titles, all of that will carry over once everything stops being free, which is an interesting paradox there because obviously there's a whole new tier 5 weapon system. So would you really want to grind right now? I don't know if you'd really grind for loot in the game right now. I don't know if that's especially desirable or necessary. I think more than anything, you just go through the campaigns, you just get caught up on the story, and you just, experience, the looter shooter that is Destiny 2, jump around in some activities, see if it's a game for you, right? The exception here, I believe, would be the Strand subclass from Life. Oh, so Strand is not free? While this is meant to attract new players, absolutely dumping content on them like this is bound to be confusing. Okay, let's see what he says here. I'm going to tell you right now that a week to play all the episodes and 2 weeks to play all the expansions is really not going to be possible for most players. My advice is that if you want to connect with the very best story and campaign content of the game, play Witch Queen and the Final Shape. Because Lightfall is bad, and a thrown together expansion that was never supposed to exist. Strand is fun though. This is a fair criticism, and I agree with this. Play the Witch Queen, play the Final Shape, and if you can make it through that in a week, which should be manageable, you're going to really enjoy the story of Destiny, I think. And I think you'll be maybe hooked for the Edge of Fate. Maybe this will actually get some new players in here. But if you want the best loot in the game, you might want to play the episodes as much as possible. As for those that have introduced some great gear that will now go above and beyond most of what you can earn in past expansions, minus raid loot perhaps. But I wish you luck trying to burn through raids as a completely new player in 2 weeks. There's no way. So a week and a half, you're probably not making it through any raids. Especially you'd have to get through the master version to get the adepts. Not happening, right? It's very unlikely. Lapsed players, maybe some. Yeah, if you're a returning player, possibly. I do find this somewhat ironic that players can keep all their weapons and armor, as the game is quite literally revamping all weapons and armor into an entirely different system with the launch of the Edge of Fate, so things will change immediately or even midway through the free period of expansions. Yeah, that is kind of a funny note, right? You can just now get everything. But I mean, this actually makes sense logically though, because this is the time when the armor and the loot is the most devalued. Like getting something that's going to expire in 10 days is an odd, like people aren't going to be especially enticed by that. But the removal of that paywall is very nice, especially for, just giving players a true chance to play Destiny 2 as a free to play game. Truly, everything will be free to you. For once. Normally it's like free to try, free to, test out Destiny 2, but now it's actually fully free to play, which, they can't be doing this regularly throughout expansions, but at the very end, just before the launch of a new saga, is the appropriate time, and I'm glad that they're actually doing it. I mean, go for it. I love Destiny. It has wild ups and downs, and it will never be what it once was, but so much of this content is great, and gunplay is best in industry. Have fun. So interesting point there. It'll never be what it once was. It's probably a pretty fair criticism overall, but I do hope that Destiny has brighter days ahead, especially as we kind of navigate through this weird period of time that we're in right now. I think that we've got some big leadership issues. We've obviously got Sony looming over all of the different, failed, monetization seasons, everything. Like the numbers are going down in terms of how much money Bungie is pulling in, especially from the estimations after they were acquired. So I'm hoping that Destiny goes through kind of a turbulent time now and maybe comes out the other side even better, perhaps, right? There's a chance where they switch up the devs, they, develop it in a way that's much more lucrative and grows the population more. Maybe it's wishful thinking, maybe it's complete copium or whatever, but I think that there's a possibility for that to happen. And only time will tell, though. Definitely Destiny has had probably its best days behind it, though, especially with the final shape, because that was a crazy climactic ending. But it shouldn't be that Destiny could never outdo the final shape. I think that Destiny could definitely outdo the final shape. It's possible, right? You can at least conceptualize what that would look like. So everything's free to play. Hopefully this draws in new players. We will be monitoring the player base from the Steam charts, and we have a secondary website now that monitors all of the populations on console as well. So we'll be able to see just how much of an influx in new players this has. And does this carry over? Does this bleed into the Edge of Fate well? Does this sell pre-orders for the Edge of Fate? Only time will tell, and we'll keep you updated on that news when we get that story. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, and we'll see you in the next one.